So now what? Are we live?
Yes, you're live.
Cool.
All right. So if you will click, I think if you click there, yeah, and
Ah.
then if you'll slide me that link.
Very nice. Oh, this is weird.
Yep. You
Oh,
might want to
God.
exit out of it.
So
for a
now,
second.
now what? Are we live? Where's? How do I get to Slack?
Over here, bud. Nope, that's not Slack.
I was gonna post a message to you.
Just don't like pull up Pigeon.
I wonder if. Oh yeah, everyone's seeing what I'm doing right now.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Just general.
Nope, another ad channel.
Just. Okay. Send it, and then share it with Andy real quick. Oh shit! This is quickly, dude.
What?
You just shared it.
Just yeah. Wait.
All right. Just cancel.
Can we just like not?
What?
Can you like pause it or something?
No, it's a live stream.
Yeah, but I feel like I always see live streams where it's like it'll be starting soon. All right, I'm just gonna post it even now. All right, I'm gonna quit Slack.
Yes, please. Okay.
That was an interesting.
I mean, maybe there's a way. I don't know.
I think there's a way because I feel
we can definitely edit it, but I don't know how. Nope. Fuck. Ooh, there's a UFO one too.
UCO's all over the conspiracy theory train.
I share it with my flat earth crew.
Please share it with your flat Earth crew.
I'm afraid you actually have a flat Earth crew. Like, I'm afraid this isn't.
That
totally
wasn't a joke. Yeah, I don't know. Can I see how many people are viewing it right now?
Yeah. Just double click on it.
I think we share it
If you hover over, 0 people so far.
Cool. It's probably for the best.
Yep. Yeah, we'll edit the rest. I probably didn't need to freak out.
Yeah.
We'll just have to edit that out.
Okay. Also, I'm pretty sure there's probably a way to like, because this thing was there before I clicked stream.
Well, you can
Before
show.
I clicked go
Oh,
live.
we should have done show. We should have done show current application.
Yeah.
That way, we could have just shown Chrome and then done whatever else we needed to, and not had anyone be able to see.
Maybe let's just do that.
Huh?
Is this?
Huh?
Yeah.
Sure.
We're good. Yeah. Wow, I got so many emails just now.
All right, then. Come on, Jerry, play along. How's it going? Should we play some music?
Probably. Can you like stream music?
Oh,
to
but
this
wait,
thing?
if you play music, then. Huh?
You can play like the
Then we'd get demonetized. But oh wait, we're not making any money off of this, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'll see you here.
Is anyone
Ah.
is anyone joining?
I don't see any viewers yet, but
Jesus.
I don't know. Is this number will go up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, if you have it pulled up,
I don't.
I feel like it would.
Okay. So now there should be at least one viewer.
Does it show who other viewers?
It does over here, but
Oh, there's one on there now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also, I guess, kind of delayed.
I can see you. Oh, I can see myself a little bit. See, it's you.
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty good. Go theater mode though. Damn.
Oh, is it delayed?
Yeah. Right now I'm looking straight without my hand in front of my face.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Why is it delayed?
It's like real delayed actually.
Why is it so delayed?
I don't know.
I'm gonna turn off of this in case that's part of why. Okay, no one's.
Come on, sheeple.
Oh, cool.
Hey, Kevin.
Okay, this might be a total failure. If it's, I swear, if it's just like the crit team joining.
Has anyone opened our newsletter yet?
Let's find out.
Our email?
0% open rate.
I have
One unsubscribe. Great. That's what I want to see.
Perfect. I think these are working.
So this has been a resounding marketing success.
We haven't even gotten into the good part yet. I guess it could be good to have like a call too, so that they can talk and stuff in real time.
What do you mean?
Like Kevin and Jerry and Mara.
Yeah, let's keep it to comments. Right now.
It's gonna be delayed though.
I mean, do you want me to call them? Then there will be like disembodied voices that like people tuning in might not be able to hear. You know?
Yeah, maybe.
Talk to your audience.
Is it just Kevin right now? Oh, there's 4 people? Alright. Oh. There's 3 people?
I also just made Flat Earther Garrett on Reddit, and I'm about to post our conspiracy.
Yes.
I was going to ask you guys first.
Do it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Do we have a sign up email in the YouTube description so that we can get these people on our newsletter list and get them to promptly unsubscribe when they realize that?
We should have done that sooner. Oh wait, I need to be over here so I can see the slides.
Oh yeah, here we go.
And I can see the comments too.
This is like the weirdest talk setup I've done.
Yeah, we might want to experiment with like some other software. Like maybe there's something better than like live streaming on YouTube for this.
Yeah.
Like maybe doing like using some like webinar software or something. You're probably getting banned, but you also just yeah.
What was your handle?
It's Flat Earther Garrett.
Flat Earther Garrett. That's a pretty good handle to have. It's like not a throwaway. It's actually Garrett's account. Garrett, why does that account have like 5,000 karma?
Sometimes.
So we have now 2 people streaming.
So we lost.
Did we lose people? Did we lose you, Garrett?
I'm still on.
Oh man.
Oh, that's not good.
Wow.
Aren't you the other one?
No.
Kevin is, I think.
Well,
Laura said she's on the way back from the vet, coming with a lot of G's. And I don't know if Jerry is on here or not yet.
I would assume not if Garrett and Kevin are the only people on. I thought James was going to join.
He signed up for our list.
Oh, you have to create a channel to comment? You probably just have to have an account.
Yeah, I feel like they're the same thing now. Like the YouTube
really?
account system is very confusing.
It is really shitty.
Yeah.
It's like not well designed.
If I'm logged.
Jerry's here.
Oh, what's up, Jerry? I see your comment. I see your comment and reaction in the comments and reactions field.
Should I join on YouTube even though you're streaming from my account?
Also, I think it's delayed.
Yep, it's definitely.
Sounds like we have about a 10 to 15 second delay. The ice wall, Garrett? Garrett wants to talk about the ice wall.
This
Do you
is
mean-
exactly how those like live things go.
Do you mean the Game of Thrones ice wall, or do you mean the real ice wall that surrounds the actual world?
The real, should I comment? Yeah, the real one.
All right. I guess, are we waiting on Laura to get here, or should I just go ahead and start? It's 12:11.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get anybody.
We have. I also don't know how to check how much.
Live watching now.
Yeah, there's 5.
Okay. Well, 2 of them are us, and 2 of them are Jerry.
Oh, Kevin's in here.
Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
There's one mystery person.
Oh, Kevin has seen our ice wall.
Nice. Okay.
So are we?
Do you want to give like a little intro and maybe just say that we're waiting on people?
Jerry doesn't want any Game of Thrones spoilers. Yeah, I don't know who all is on the stream yet. It looks like we have some critters in here and maybe some other people. So thanks for joining for our very first Lunch and Learn stream. We're going to be talking about conspiracy theories and the power of transparency. I think we're going to get started here in a minute. Just going to wait on the rest of the critters to get in here. What's up, Jay? Thanks for joining us today. Yeah, I think either one of those works. Yeah, this is very delayed. But that's all right. I'm gonna see what Laura's ETA is.
Okay.
And if it's, I'll probably start it in a minute.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
maybe start at 12:15.
12:15. Yeah, that'd be good. All right, so we'll have a start at 12:15. 12:15 real time, which probably means 12:16 YouTube live stream time.
I wonder if there's a way to adjust that delay.
Is there a way to move my my little box to the side or something?
Yeah.
It's just covering up a picture of a lizard on the.
Yeah, you can. If you go over to Ecamm Live, then you can, and you just drag it around, then that'll move it in the live stream.
Okay. Now you guys can see the lizard that I had on the cover.
Nope. Apparently we can't. Either that or the delay is.
I think you'll see it in a second.
Oh, yep. Here we go. Yep, you're now in the middle.
Cool. If I do this, do you see my screen going back and forth?
We do see your screen going back and forth, but we can't see Ecamm Live. Like they hide there.
It's just your desktop?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wish there was a way to get it on top of this. There might be, actually.
I would.
Oh, God. I don't know how to do that. Okay. Oh, Kevin sees the lizard. All right. It's 12:14. Just kidding. I wish we did have some nice elevator music. We'll talk about the lizard people, Garrett.
Laura's here.
Perfect, and it just turned 12:15. All right. Well, welcome to the very first Crit Lunch and Learn live stream. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We've got some people all around the internets here, which is very nice. So I'm Austin, and I'm going to be talking to you sheeple about conspiracy theories and transparency. So get your tinfoil hats ready, and let's get started. Did anyone bring a tinfoil hat with them?
I can run to my house and pull it up real quick and begin.
Yeah, I guess that would be good enough.
In the future, if you do this talk again, you have to be wearing a tinfoil
I was
hat.
going to make a tinfoil hat, but I finished putting this talk together at about midnight last night, so did not have enough time for the hat, and also we'll see how the talk goes. All right, so who of you currently believes in a conspiracy theory right now? Other than you, Garrett, I already know about that.
How do I do the race hand emoji?
Yeah. According to some recent studies, that at least half of you should have. Oh, there's Garrett raising his hand, which we already knew about. But and Andrew. Okay. Well, it should be 60% of everyone on this live stream here, because so a recent study showed that 60% of Americans believe in at least one conspiracy theory. And there's some crazy ones out there. We've got Garrett's favorite, the Flat Earth Society, or I'm assuming you're a card-carrying member of the Flat Earth Society. Then we've got one of my favorite ones, which is that Paul McCartney died in the 60s and was replaced by the new Paul McCartney, which is what the cover of Abbey Road is supposed to be telling us. We've got that the moon landing was fake, as you can see here by this actual photograph of the film crew in the studio. And then, of course, this guy talking about how we can owe a lot of our technological advancement to aliens visiting us. So yeah, conspiracy theories kind of seem to be everywhere today. Speaking of Alex Jones, we've kind of seen him come from the fringes to be a little bit more mainstream. A lot of people at least know who he is, and a lot of people tell jokes about him, but he still has a lot of followers that actually believe what he's saying. So it's kind of crazy to see someone can attract such a big following with some of the crazy theories we just went through. Also, I googled pictures of Alex Jones, and there were a lot of them. So I'm just going to kind of shuffle through. I couldn't decide on just one to use, so just going to give you guys a nice little tour of Alex Jones' Google image results. And as you can clearly see here, he's definitely a lizard person. If you look at those eyes, 100% lizard. All right, so if conspiracy theories are so crazy, why do so many people believe in them? Other than the flat Earth one, Garrett, that one's not even really a theory anymore. If you look at the evidence, pretty hard fact. So I'll give you this Weird Al gif before we dive into it. All right. Well, for starters, they're interesting. So the same reason that mystery genre and like whodunits and true crime podcasts and everything has gotten so popular, it's the same thing with conspiracy theories. They're just interesting stories. They let us use our imaginations. It's just, they're good stories. So it's just interesting to learn about them, to dive into the YouTube rabbit hole, and they're just entertaining. But that doesn't really explain why people actually start believing in them. That just kind of explains why they're so popular. So, and here's just the lizard people that we were mentioning. It's just, it's a nice entertaining thought to think that all the rich and powerful people in the world are actually just the race of lizard aliens that are controlling us, which, jury's still out on that, I guess. So one of the big things is that our brains are hardwired to think in terms of cause and effect. So if something happens, it's because something caused it to happen. And so this gets magnified to where when there's a big complex event that happens, then that means there had to be a big complex cause for it. So it's really hard in the case of the JFK assassination to think that this giant world-changing event, this very historic event, was just one dude who decided that he was going to kill the president. Yeah.
You're spinning your chair.
Oh, okay. I'll try not to spin in my chair. Yeah. So yeah, it's hard when these big events happen to think that could be just a small call. So our brains try to associate the big complexity of the event with the cause. So the other thing is that they explain things that otherwise aren't explained. So as humans, we want to know the answer to things. We're just naturally curious, and so conspiracy theories a lot of times revolve around government plots and organizations that are usually pretty secretive. And so when you're not getting the information from them, it kind of leaves a lot of room for people to come up with their own theories. So Area 51 is a good example of this. Government's been pretty tight-lipped about what they do there. They didn't even. Nope, that's right, Laura. I'm spinning in my chair because of the whole gravity conspiracy. Way to stay woke. So yeah, with Area 51, the government has been pretty tight-lipped about it. They didn't even acknowledge that it existed for a while, and so there's left a lot of room for people to theorize all the alien experiments that they're doing and all the crazy stuff that could be happening there, just because no one can confirm that stuff's not happening. And then of course, this guy with the ancient aliens. There's a lot of crazy things if you start reading through history, a lot of things that we can't really explain. And so for all the ancient astronaut theorists, as they're called, the answer for everything is just aliens. Which, who knows? So the other thing that kind of magnifies this a little bit more is that we have a pretty big fear of uncertainty. We like to be in control, and we like to know what's going on. And when we don't know what's going on, we're scared of that. So if you're alone at night and you hear a noise, it's probably something that's going to cause you harm rather than something that's totally harmless. At least that's what your brain will tell you. And that's good because that's kind of a survival mechanism. But what it can also do is start leading down a rabbit hole, looking for answers, putting together patterns that aren't there. And so if you're feeling powerless and like you don't really have control of the world, then you can start to really grasp onto things that maybe don't have a good basis in reality. So the Illuminati is a good example of this. It's just saying all the powerful, rich people in the world are secretly conspiring to control the world and take it over into the New World Order. So it's pretty easy for someone that, like us, like me, who's not in the Illuminati, to just theorize that, all these powerful people are totally conspiring to screw over the rest of the world. And the biggest one maybe is because sometimes conspiracy theories turn out to be true. So some examples of this one, Watergate, the Republican Party conspired to break in and steal information and do wiretapping. And for a while it was a theory that they were involved with this, but it kept going up the chain until eventually the president had to resign. So sometimes conspiracies happen. Another one that I don't have a slide for. Hello, K-Status. Thanks for joining us. Another one that I don't have a slide for is the MK Ultra experiment. So this is when the CIA, back from like the 50s through the 70s, was using LSD to experiment on people without their knowledge to try and figure out mind control. So they wanted to figure out how to get people to do things they otherwise wouldn't do, like assassinations, and be able to wake up the next day and not have any memory of it. So that's like a pretty crazy thing, but it actually happened. And, when these things do happen, it makes it a lot easier to believe that other conspiracies will happen. So that was a lot about conspiracy theories. The other piece of this talk was about transparency. So looking at all the conspiracy theories and why people believe in them, what can that teach us about power, transparency, and how to really use transparency in a good way? At Crit, transparency is one of our core values. It's something that we really focus on. We also sometimes focus on conspiracy theories, but more on transparency. So the takeaway from this slide from this talk is going to be more about how we can apply these things to being better at being transparent. So one note is just to be interesting. Openly sharing things is a great place to start, but you got to think about how you're sharing things too. If it's not telling a story, if it's not interesting, then is it really going to be effective? Um, so one example of this is in our weekly team meetings. We've always had a little section on cash flow. And when we started doing that, it was just pretty much here's our bank balance. But we realized that didn't really tell the story really tell the story of our cash flow. So we started adding in the amount of money we had out in invoices. We started sharing our profit from month to month and some more kind of insights that we had to give a better kind of overview of our cash flow. And that part of the meeting seems to be more interesting to the team now. I'm seeing the comments. Don't worry. Except for I just saw that you're gonna send VHS tapes to people, so it's probably the opposite of streaming things on the internet. Um, Not doing it in the most secure way here. All right. The next thing we can learn is to explain the why behind things. When you're making decisions and you're not explaining how you got to those decisions, a lot of times it can lead people to draw their own conclusions. So if that's something like not promoting someone or choosing another person to promote or cutting back expenses, you may have great explanations for those. There may be another position you had in mind for the other person. You may be saving up some money to invest in a new office space or new benefits. But if you're not open and explaining that with your team, people can oftentimes assume the worst, like they're not doing good at their jobs or the company is running out of money. So the more you can explain why you made the decisions you made, the better off everyone is. Another one is thinking about the message you're sending. So as I mentioned, we have a fear of uncertainty, and when we feel like we're not in control of things, we start to freak out a little bit. So when you are sharing information, when you are being transparent, think about the message it's sending. We've looked at our financial spreadsheets before, our projections, and sometimes they weren't the best. There were a lot of little red boxes in there, but we knew we had some things in the pipeline and some other things out there that would probably make a lot of those little boxes turn green in the future months. But if we just shared the financial projections without the context of, hey, we have some things in the pipeline to balance that out, then it would make the company seem like it's in a lot worse shape off than it is, and it might start having people think about where their paycheck's going to come from coming up. And then, one of the biggest things here is to be honest. So as I mentioned, one of the reasons people believe in conspiracy theories is that sometimes they turn out to be true. So if you're not being truthful, it will come back to bite you. And once it happens once, it's going to be really, really easy for people to believe that you're going to be lying and being dishonest in the future. So honesty is always the best policy to prevent people from making conspiracy theories about yourself. So that's actually all the slides that I had here. That went a lot faster than I thought I would. Are there any questions?
So it seems like people who join late joined it like YouTube has them join at the beginning, so they're still watching the rest to get caught up. So that's why there's like even more delay and everything. That's weird.
That is weird.
Okay. Learning experience. Do you have any questions here?
I'll wait on the YouTube people to catch up.
There are some people watching that. Does me trying to figure out who they all are?
I think it's basically all of us and Andy and then like a couple of other people.
So Laura asked which conspiracy theories I believe in.
Oh, good question.
Yeah. That's a great question. It's hard to, so I don't know that I have many that I like really believe in. But I do like the Ancient Aliens one a lot. I think that one's like really interesting to learn about. And the Paul McCartney one is just interesting. Yeah. Although when I was doing
Tell us more about the ancient aliens. Like what?
so the ancient aliens, so the idea behind the ancient aliens is that there's all these that a lot of uh, ancient yep, there you go, Garrett. So a lot of ancient societies were visited by aliens back in the day, and that's where a lot of religions come from, and that's also where a lot of technology that is referenced in a lot in ancient texts comes from.
Wait,
Um,
can you be more specific?
so Ezekiel's flying object is one. So in the Bible, there's a story about Ezekiel like ascending into the heavens on a flaming chariot, and when the ancient astronaut theorists, as they refer to themselves, dive into that, there's also so they're like, well, maybe this wasn't an actual flaming chariot. Like at the time, the vehicle that they had was a chariot. That was like the only concept of like a vehicle that they had, and it was in the sky, and it had like a thruster on it. So it was like this object that he got into and went up in the sky, and that was the best language they had to describe a spaceship taking off into space.
Nice.
And it's like, okay, and there's
That
also
just makes sense.
right, and there's also like in a lot of ancient Indian texts, they refer to the vimana, which are like these flying machines that the gods used to use. And so they're like, nope, those are probably just aliens coming down on spaceships. And you're like, maybe, like, it's not like the craziest thing to say that they don't have a word for spaceship, so they like just use flying machine or whatever. And if you think about it, when Europeans came to like the New World, a lot of the native people thought that like they were gods.
Yeah.
There's stories of that, so it's kind of the same thing on a bigger scale. So I think that was really interesting, and I actually like watching that show on History Channel because you learn a lot about of interesting things about like ancient cultures, and then their explanation for everything is just aliens. But before that, it's like a lot of interesting information. So
Cool.
yeah, we also have a lot of people talking about Pizzagate, Pizza Rat. Oh, there's Pizza Rat and Pizzagate, two separate things. One was
two very different
a lot
things.
crazier than the other one. So I don't know if everyone here is familiar with Pizzagate, but it was essentially a conspiracy theory that the DNC was running a child sex ring out of a pizza shop in DC, and it got spun out of control pretty crazily, where like someone actually showed up to like someone who really bought into the conspiracy theory like showed up at the pizza place with a gun and was like going to free the kids, but then realized that they weren't there, so he just surrendered himself.
Very different.
Very different from Pizza Rat,
Yes.
which was, I don't even know how to.
There's a viral video, and the whole conspiracy was that it was like created.
Yeah, and it ended up. So Zardulu was like the weird artist person that like.
Was she behind Pizza Rat, or was she behind one of the others? I can't remember.
Andy chimed in to say that most people still believe Hillary Clinton is behind the whole thing.
Pizzagate, not Pizza Rat.
Pizzagate, not Pizza Rat, yes. The WikiLeaks emails that got leaked of all the Democratic John Podesta, yeah, he basically met someone there for pizza, and then they made all these crazy connections. And by most people, I mean people who still believe in Pizzagate.
So what's the harm of conspiracy theories? Like,
So-
when can they be bad?
So so this is actually good. So sometimes conspiracy theories can be good, sometimes they can be bad. So in the case of Pizzagate, it got to such an extreme point that someone from the internet who really bought into the theory, showed up at the pizza place with a gun and was going to take people out in order to save the kids trapped in the child sex ring there. I think he actually shot into the restaurant but didn't hit anybody. So it can be pretty dangerous. On the flip side of that, if you had no conspiracy theories, if people weren't inclined to be skeptical of the answers they were given and be skeptical of the government and just different organizations, then you would have no one really questioning authority. If people took everything that they heard at face value, then a democratic society may not work very well, and you're not going to necessarily and same thing, and I guess in a company, if you don't have people questioning the direction of the company and what the motives are for the company and everything, then you're not gonna be able to grow as a company.
But at the same time, if there's no trust,
If there's no trust,
then that can be equally bad.
right? So you need a healthy amount of skepticism, but from an organizational standpoint, you also need to be able to show people that they can trust you. That was a good question, though.
Alrighty. Well,
Yep. Thanks for joining everyone on the YouTubes here, and happy conspiracy hunting. Smash that subscribe, like, subscribe below.
I said it's just